back, everyone, to a cast of players, the Chronicles of Valtor, and you rejoin our intrepid band of soon-to-be former mercenaries by virtue of what the mayor's saying. Maybe.
Mighty. Can't tell us what to do.
I mean, he can't
Stupid mayor.
exactly tell you what to do, but he has offered you a potentially tantalizing proposition of you tell him where the friend is so that he can be dealt with suitably. His words. Which are therefore, by extension, my words.
Legally binding contract he gave us.
You do have a legally binding contract, yes.
Only for 500 coins, though.
I mean, that's a lot of money.
That's what we got from the Atwellers.
Yeah, but we found that.
I know. For nothing. Just torturous nightmares.
I mean, 500 gold
trauma.
pieces to tell him where the friend is seems like a reasonable...
What is that in today's economy?
Imagine how many daggers you can buy.
Like £11.60.
So many daggers.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, for what it's worth, the contract, reading it through, as you, I presume, you would actually, no, you wouldn't have done, because you didn't read the first contract when we first started this adventure.
No,
We
only
read the
3
contract very
contracts.
thoroughly, actually.
I'll tell you what, could you all make an intelligence check, please?
Very intelligent.
early.
Have
You
to
should
know.
be better at this as well.
Oh
with your
no,
plus
I
one.
am.
Where is it?
Oh, wow.
Where's my intelligence?
It's just straight intelligence.
I am 26 intelligent.
Yeah.
Sounds it.
Despite my shockingly bad roll, I am 21 intelligent.
Wow. Sure.
I trust the contract has been read.
I also trust the contract.
You should read it. Reading it through, it is, the terms are, you will tell the mayor where he is. Upon successful completion, you will be awarded 500 gold pieces each.
Easy.
Without
Each?
penalty if
I missed each.
There will be no penalty
Each?
if
we
you...
don't.
2,000 gold pieces.
Yes.
That's pretty massive.
There will be no penalty should you...
A friend ain't no friend of mine.
you don't
well, it
tell,
depends how much he can pay us.
if you don't tell him where he is, then you don't...
We get off scot-free.
there's no negative connotations to not completing your task.
Have I noticed that Acacia's also read the contract?
Yeah.
So are we now on the way back to the sickle, or?
Yeah, you left the mayor's house quite late. You know, you
very
were actually...
merry.
Stumbling.
Yeah, you as I sort of said at the end of the last session, he's actually a pretty nice guy.
He's a good time dog.
Like, he's a good, he was just there having a good time with you guys.
Daggers are really cool.
Thanks. So your axe.
You all leveled up, and you will have a long rest. You headed back to the sickle. You head down the stairs, and as you're having breakfast, eventually you hear the rolling of wheels and the clatter of hooves on the stone cobbles outside.
I'm mildly tinkering with my firearms.
The door opens, and Sven Torgard is there. Good morning. Looks at you tinkering with guns.
Sven!
Oh wait, hold on. So we've cut to the next morning then.
Yeah. I mean, unless there's something very specific that you wanted to do whilst you were sleeping.
Well, on the way home, Dorian would have said to the sickle. Dorian would have said, "So what is it we're actually going to do tomorrow?"
Well,
You can have this discussion at night, at breakfast, when you're sober.
Yeah, before Sven arrives,
Sure,
basically. Because are we ratting out? Are we going to rat the friend out or not?
well, personally, the way
We
I
should
see it,
probably make a decision on this.
we've been given a contract to locate the friend. There's no reason we can't locate the friend. Whether or not we tell someone where the friend is, we'll see what the friend has to say to us.
Yes,
The way I see it, we're up for the highest bidder.
Yeah.
But do we tell the friend?
We have a moral dilemma we need to approach with
What's
caution.
that word you just used?
Moral.
Moral. What does it
Dilemma.
mean? What does this moral mean?
He's being funny.
He is. I think we need to take the measure of the friend.
Yes,
Yes.
See
what he has to offer.
who he is.
it is a sensible way to approach it.
If he seems
have my
like some
moments.
kind of warlord or baron, then maybe we rat him out. If he seems like a jolly good time, and he has many, many contracts for us, then maybe it's more beneficial for us to hear him out.
Yes.
Okay.
You have your breakfast, Sven arrives. Good morning. The friend is happy to meet you if you'll come with me, but I will warn you now. You will be blinded to a degree so as to keep their location secret. Nothing permanent, of course. This is just part of the arrangement. I will not force you, but then likewise you will not meet the friend.
I've not got much more eyesight to go.
That's okay.
Not doing anything out loud, and I'm quite upset because I've had her in timeout, but I'd like to summon Octoria
Yeah, she trots down the stairs.
and just communicate. Follow where we're going. Quietly, so no one knows you're following.
Sure, I can do that.
When does he come armed with blindfolds?
No.
Oh,
He did say blinded to a degree.
yeah. Okay.
He gestures outside. As you look through the front door, you can see that there is a large stagecoach. The door open.
Shall we?
Well, no time like the present. Let me just pack all this down.
Is it like, is it look particularly fancy or is it just sort of like standard issue?
It's quite standard issue. I mean, it looks quite comfortable. Leather
Blends
seats.
in.
Yeah, got like, windows looking out.
Gear up.
Let's do this.
There is a rider. There is a driver. It's not like a horseless carriage.
Yeah. Oh.
The carriage is a demon.
Do you all
Back
enter?
off to Yarnum.
Yeah.
I'll go. Yes, we'll go.
Yeah, why not?
As the last of you enters, of you four, the door swings shut. You can hear a latch clicking into place. The windows begin to blur and swirl, darkening as if storm clouds were forming outside the windows until nothing but darkness lies beyond it.
I communicate to Octora to jump on the back of the stagecoach.
You get no reply.
Great! Fine!
You feel it twist ever so slightly as you can feel people getting up onto the driver's seat, and the coach begins to move, rattles and shakes as it travels through the cobbled streets. You can hear the sound of people going about their business outside. It's quite muffled and distant though, as if you're trying to hear something over the sound of a storm, although inside it is calm and serene.
This is some kind of illusion magic, one would presume.
Yeah, you can't see outside.
Yeah.
Anything that anyone would like to do?
Dispel the magic.
I would like to investigate the windows.
Go for it. Make an investigation check. Yeah, it's a window.
Nope.
It's a window.
Can't open it?
Yep.
Cool.
Nope. You can't open the windows. The door is also locked.
Can I stab the window? I don't want to stab the window. I was being facetious.
And yet, none of it would have surprised you. Anything else anyone want to do?
I'm not going to shoot the window.
Just enjoy this lovely ride.
Let's chat.
You ride forth, and eventually the sounds of the town outside begin to die down, taper off, and the bumpy track of cobbled stones gives way to the soft crunching of gravel and dirt. About 2 hours pass.
Wow.
Until finally the coach slows to a gentle stop. The movement of the driver rocks the carriage as they descend. You can hear the trudging towards the door. The latch clicks, the door swings open, and daylight pours through, and you can see that there is a small clearing. Sunlight pouring through a tree line, illuminating the area. Sven is standing there, gives you a nod, gestures out. You find yourselves in a small clearing. There's a stone structure in the middle. Appears to be a church. In front of the church structure, there's a small row of trellises set up. Vines.
Trelli.
Is that the word? I don't know.
Yes.
Vines begin to wind their way up. Young sprouts. You can see a man tending to the budding grapes. In his early 40s, jet black hair, shoulder length, and he looks over in your direction with clouded, milky eyes. He gives you a gentle smile. I apologize for the clandestine nature of your arrival. Such is the way of things when you work from the shadows, I suppose. Please. He gestures to the church building and begins walking there himself.
I'll follow.
Yeah, follow him.
Yeah, why not? In for a penny, in for a pound, all that.
Does the rider of the carriage to stay on the horse?
Yeah, he's let you out and he's just waiting. He's just tending to the horses.
Okay. And there's no one else around that we can see?
Sven is also standing by the carriage.
Do we hear anything?
You're in a forest?
Birds.
Yeah, birds. Yeah.
Could we, given it was a 2-hour ride, do we have any idea where it might be?
Could you make a survival check for me?
Sure.
Can we all do that?
Sure.
I critical the survival.
Survive critically, I don't.
I've perished somehow.
13. Oh, actually, I've got
Let's
a
give it the
9.
22.
22.
Yeah.
A 5. 2-hour ride away, forest. There's quite a lot of forests in this area. You're not quite sure where precisely, but it narrows it down to one of two places. The specifics of where in the forest, you have no idea.
Sure. Is your familiar around?
Is she?
Yeah, she jumps off the back of the carriage. She responds to you. She's like, that was a fun little trek.
Do you know where we are?
North?
Why did I bother you so?
I'm sorry, should I know the name of every forest that we go to? No.
Could you lead us back here?
Yeah, you just travel the road and then walk through the forest for a little bit until you find a church.
Do you know which road?
A big one.
Oh my.
Can we deduce anything from the church?
Could you make a religion check for me, please?
Oh,
I am gonna snap Arctoria out of existence.
Oh! An 18!
Same, 18.
13.
I'm very tired.
It's a long morning, hasn't it?
See that there is a round stained glass window at the front, broken long ago, but you can just make out the outline of a large oak tree. This is the symbol of the steward, the Nemosian god of nature.
Oh, I probably quite like
Might give you a nudge and sort of,
Yeah,
look up to
you
the
see
thing
I'm
being
looking
like,
at the same
yeah.
time, yeah.
like, if we're going to figure out where it is, you might be able to deduce it from the church backwards. when we end
Also,
up
from
deposited.
a pantheon point of view, nature's not necessarily aligned with any particular moral value. It's nature just does what nature does. Right?
chaos.
Nature do what nature do.
So, let's see what the nature of this friend is.
Nice one.
Are you keeping pace with the man?
Yeah.
He
Don't spook him.
Yeah,
Yeah,
do this as a sort of walk.
Yeah, he looks behind him ever so slightly, but more like just to talk in your direction. He had a meeting with Mayor Lebois. How was that?
Quite delicious. It built on a good spread.
It was illuminating for sure. He likes you.
We go a while back.
You do?
Well, of course we do. We've been effectively working together for some time, as much as he hates to admit it. I provide service to the town and to the town's people, and he gets to ensure that Traistan has good standings elsewhere, although my understanding is those times are going to be coming to an end soon, which is quite sad and disappointing, frankly, although we must move with the times, for it waits for no one.
What sort of service do you provide to Traistan?
You yourselves have partaken in it. Jobs for the mercenaries that pass through, so-called heroes, and of course for the townsfolk to have problems dealt with that are perhaps beyond the scope of the town guard. You yourselves have been a busy little quartet, haven't you?
You could say that.
We've been around.
I did, Miss Bardi. I mean, I could ignore your little indiscretion on first arrival, but other than that, you've conducted yourselves quite admirably, I'll admit. And you did provide closure of a sorts in that unfortunate incident in Arkport. He arrives at the entrance to the church. The door is long fallen away from its hinges. Inside you can see it's destitute, in shambles, probably ransacked long ago. At the far end you can see that there's a large tree that grows in the centre. The church itself is, rather than everyone facing the front, it's almost like an amphitheatre.
Around the tree?
Around the tree,
Oh,
yeah.
that sounds nice.
Like a tree.
The tree itself is ringed by a stone altar, and hanging from the branches are several dozen leather cords, each ending in a stone, all in slightly different colours, sizes, shapes. These are sending stones.
Regular
Sending stones.
cow leather, not human leather, yes?
This is where this is his messaging network.
Do we still have
Well,
it, or
I
did we
don't
give
know.
it to
Do we
Garrett?
still have that sending stone?
You left
Thought we
it
gave
with
it to
Garrett.
Garrett.
Left it
Oh, did
with
we?
Garrett,
Yeah, you left
Oh,
it with
yeah.
Garrett, yeah.
So we're in his little data hub.
It's the headquarters.
Yeah.
He carries on walking in silence at this point, unless there's anything that anyone would like to say.
I'd like to admire the tree.
And it's obviously clear that
Same.
he can see where he's going, despite the fact he appears to be blind.
He appears
right?
to be blind, yeah.
Okay.
Is there anything that you need to tell me about with your meeting with the mayor? I presume it wasn't just a dinner out of the goodness of his heart.
I think, like you, he was quite curious as to what we've been up to in the town.
Well, unlike him, I have some semblance of knowing what you've been up to, both in and out of the town. Which brings me to my request of your arrival here. You see, across the sea in the Black Peninsula, the city of Exemplar's Landing stands as the main Nemosian entrance to the eastern continent. Being in close proximity to the eastern lands, the Shattered Realm, the Republic, the Athenium, it all lends itself to being a melting pot of trade. The fact that it is far away from the watchful gaze of Greyhold also affords it a modicum of relaxed scrutiny, shall we say. In a week, there is a gala being held there by the son of one of the merchant families that frequent the city. However, my sources inform me that this gala is realistically a front for an auction. There are a number of items that are being put to sale there by the highest bidder, and most of them perhaps shouldn't be. There is one in particular that is of interest in me, and I would like you to go to the auction and obtain it for me. How you do it is up to you.
You would have us bid on this, or?
You can bid, you could steal, you could burn the place to the ground if you want to, as long as I receive the item.
And what is the item?
It's something called the Hassaran Cube. It is a silver cube, about 5 inches along each edge. On each face is a large gemstone, an emerald, a ruby, a sapphire, a topaz, an opal, and an amethyst. That's what I want.
One presumes if we're going to this kind of auction, this kind of item would fetch quite a high price.
It is worth a lot of money.
Now, I would also assume if we were to even get into that auction house, having bid on a few things in my time, we would need to show quality of our financial worth. Is there any backing the friend can give us on this escapade so that we might prove that we are at least able to purchase such an item? So they don't turf us out, give us cover while we can then work our magic and secure this item for you.
The main issue that I'm having with this little soiree is that it is invitation only. The fact that I found out about it is moot.
I see.
Because I cannot get any of my agents in. It's all moved a bit too fast to be implanted properly. I have acquired invitations to the gala, but the auction itself is the tricky part. But between the 4 of you, you have more of a chance than most. I'm not going to offer you financial backing because I doubt the wayward son of House Martwick will be turned away.
Oh my God. Oh no.
I wonder if mother and father know what young Geoffrey is up to in their holdings on the far shore.
Oh, curse him! Curse him dead! Oh no. You can't be serious.
Mr. Martwick, I am indeed serious. So whilst I cannot afford you financial backing, you don't need it.
I swore I would never go back there. You want me to go back there? There of all places?
It's the holiday home, it's fine.
Is it his ruddy auction?
I have received some information that he appears to be divesting interest from the family trade.
Well, we've got an in, I suppose. Just have to give up everything I've ever stood for and
You stand for something.
say hello
Dorian
to my brother Geoffrey. Excellent. Well, I feel a bit sick. I need a moment to... shoot myself. Give me just a moment.
What was the explosive called? Falmis?
Fulmus, yeah.
Falmis, yeah.
I imagine I wander off and you hear many, many, many expletives being shouted into the trees. And maybe just random gunshots as well, just firing into the woods.
What is it exactly you want with this cube? And the Falmis, for that matter.
The Fulmus is not of your concern. I'll overlook you digging past the task that was given to you, although I appreciate the return of it nonetheless. As for the cube, as I say, it's worth a lot of money.
But the Falmis is a weapon.
It depends on how Fulmus is used. Fire can burn down nature, stone, and yet fire gives us warmth, gives us life. Everything is a matter of perspective, Mr. Kincaid.
Wandered back in. I don't know about the rest of these guys, but I'm certainly in. I feel at this stage, if Geoffrey and my family are auctioning anything, it's probably best, well, based on what we've seen recently, that they don't auction it to anyone at all.
Will they be happy to see you? Or are you a bit of a black sheep in the family?
Put it this way, there could be fireworks.
Oh.
I'm
That's
assuming
not gonna
not
be
the fun kind.
Not going to be a happy reunion, no. Put it this way, they tried to have me killed and replace me with my adopted brother, Geoffrey. He has stolen both my life and my life's work, and my inheritance, and several girlfriends, and just about everything I hold dear.
Oh.
Sounds like a good time for you to get some revenge.
It could be splendid. Put it this way, the only reason we're going there is so I can make his life hell. But
And you're
I'm
happy
up
to
for
do
that.
that for free because you haven't asked for any coin yet.
I can assure you, if we're going to see my family, there'll be plenty of coin for me to find. That's for damn sure.
It seems an interesting strategy you're putting out here. If they don't want to see him and we're trying to get in, sounds like a bit of a stumbling block.
Wayward sons are sometimes turned away, but it is a means to an end. Should we have issues with Mr. Martwick and his entrance, that's what the three of you are for. He looks towards you. Words carry power when spoken by those with the right connections, even those that have left the scholars. They have weighty words, Mr. Kell. The Bardi name lends legitimacy to all matters of archaeological items, and the people that will find themselves there like nothing more than to feel good about themselves by lamenting someone else's tragedy and acting like they care, and who better for such preening than the last of the King Clades. There are countless threads that run through this world, many of them tied together, many not. Happenstance is a true rarity. How you ended up here for a reason, or is it just pure chance? I myself do not have the answer, but what I am going to do is use it. I have a window of opportunity to obtain the cube, and I seek to take it. You will be rewarded handsomely. I feel that my proposition is fair. The rewards will be ample. The opportunity to settle a score, cherry on top. Is questioning it really necessary?
It is if you have any concerns about what you might be doing.
Could you make a history check for me, please?
Sure. I'm going to be a human. My history is so critically good.
What's the total?
The total is more than you can even count. 24.
24?
You're the
Critical.
You've heard of the Hassaran Cube before.
Oh, okay.
Oh!
Wait, no.
Very, very briefly.
Yep.
You know, well, not like hushed whispers. It's not like some dark artifact, but it's one of those artifacts that have done the rounds, and truth and myth are very hard to separate, especially when it comes to artifacts from the Cahadril.
So it is a Cahadril artifact.
It's believed to be a plains breaker. It is something that can break down the walls between the material realm, at least in a localized area.
Is this the theory they had about how the Cahadril could travel really far?
You're not sure.
Okay.
And you've now just realised this is in the possession of the Martwick family.
Has it been, with any of my knowledge, how could it be used in bad ways other than just logistics?
Could you make
items?
an insight check for me, please?
That is 22.
Yeah, I mean, something like that does sound like it would be worth a lot of money to a number of people for a number of things. If the rumours of it being a plains breaker are true, you could, in theory, use it to traverse to the elemental planes, to the Feywild, to the Hollow. Vice versa, if it being a plains breaker are true, things from the other side could come through as well. Opening up a pathway, shall we say, to the elemental plane of fire could be really quite bad, depending on whether what comes through is just ash and smoke or lava. Opening up to the airplane could be very nice for a soft breeze or a thunderstorm in a localized area. The likelihood is that these kinds of people that are at a secret auction probably aren't going to use it for academic pursuits.
No. So it can be weaponized.
It could be
very dangerous.
But it could be very dangerous.
Okay. I'm not sure I can get this cube for you without knowing what you're doing with it.
Mr. Kincaid, I understand your skepticism. I simply seek to get the cube away from those that might want to misuse it. I don't know what that might be. I don't know who that might be. Suffice it to say, people that attend secret auctions for mystical items are not who I'd call paragons of virtue.
Agreed, but the irony of what you're saying is, I mean, you want us to go and take it for you.
Correct.
Does that
As I
cursed...
say, I have a window of opportunity that has been made available to me, and I seek to take it. I'm in no rush.
Does that cursed college have any skin in the game? Are they potentially
may
turning up to the
very
auction?
well do. I cannot tell you who will be going and who will not be going. If they've caught wind of it, as I have, and it's possible, then they may very well have people there. They are more likely to raid it rather than try and infiltrate it.
Sounds about right. They are about as sharp as a
Subtle
sledgehammer.
as a sledgehammer.
Yes, indeed. Well, looks like all my chickens are coming home to roost. May as well barbecue them all in one place.
Never heard you say a more fitting thing.
And what will you be paying for this?
There will be a generous payment for the return of said items, but in addition to that, many of the other items that are being transferred through this auction will surely fetch a fine price, hence why they are at an auction. So long as the cube is returned to me, consider anything else a finder's fee.
Okay,
I mean, we could procure some nice artifacts.
so how much will you be paying us for this?
Name a price.
1,000 gold pieces a head?
Done.
Oh, hi then.
Sorry, Lexi.
Okay.
Seems fair.
Any other questions, objections,
How are you
queries?
getting us across to this gala?
Unfortunately, a crackdown on some of my more navally inclined associates has resulted in them being dry docked. Their sailors are on shore leave, forced by the Nemosian Navy. In fact, the blockade of the southern straits between us and Talar has caused most ships to cease operations, unless they have a trade permit or the seal of a regional leader, political envoys, things like that. What a quandary. Location and manpower, yet no means of transportation.
Except the new ship.
New ship?
The mayor might have mentioned something about a ship.
How you get over there is up to you. I can ensure that there are men and women available to assist. You're not obliged to do anything. Our business is otherwise squared off and concluded, and I appreciate that I've not given you much time to make a decision, nor to plan how you might go about such an endeavour.
Do you have any contacts in the Nemosian Navy in Traistan?
I have many men and women who are navally inclined, shall we say.
Well,
That sounds like a crew.
does sound like a crew indeed, doesn't it?
As I say, location, a means of entry. I have manpower. The only thing missing is a ship.
So you want us to steal the mayor's ship. You want us to betray the fact that he wants to actually find you.
Of course he does.
Then you want us to believe that you are the good guy in all of this.
He gestures to the tree behind him. As you are well aware, Mr. Kincaid, nature doesn't take sides, it simply is.
Life finds a way.
And we get to steal a ship.
Gosh.
Right. Well, thank you very much for your time, Mr. Friend. I think we have a lot of thinking to do.
Make your decision here, and then when you are ready to depart back to town, simply let Mr. Torgard know, and he will get you back there. But if you could give me an answer before you leave, I would appreciate it. As I say, I have a window of opportunity here, but I can be patient. I reason this is an opportunity for both of us, however.
Well, I don't know about the rest of you, but I'm certainly up for heading to this gala.
I'm on board.
Nice.
I'm interested in these artifacts, so sometimes better the devil you know.
Well, in the pursuit of my own learning, these sorts of things are worth exploring, I suppose. We just need to make sure that our paths are aligned between the four of us.
We'll decide if we give you the cube once we got it.
There he goes.
He
Maybe you ought to smash your head in with it.
Maybe.
he gives you a slight smile. He's like, I am in no position to force you to give me the cube. You would give me the cube because that is what you have been asked to do, and that is what you may or may not do. I can't quite see that far.
Well, let's just let nature take its course and see what happens.
He's beginning to believe. He nods. He's like, I wouldn't have it any other way, Mr. Kincaid.
Well, if you can facilitate us a crew, when is this ship due to launch?
So the mayor said it was due to launch the day after tomorrow. That was last night, so tomorrow.
Do we know that it's heading to our destination?
I'll tell you what, make a intelligence check.
A 12, despite the roll.
You don't recall it being mentioned in discussion with the mayor.
Damn
last
it.
night.
If we're going to steal a ship, and I'm saying steal in parentheses at this point, it's very, very hard to steal a ship at dock. Far too many things can stop you. We're going to need to get it out onto the open sea before we can take command. That means we need to get a crew on board the ship and us on board the ship before it leaves. At which point, over the open sea, anything's kind of possible. Or, if it's going in the right direction, we just keep it stum and sail on over to where we need to go.
You make a good point.
The crew will be a nice insurance. If all goes Pete Tong, we can take the ship, and also then sail it wherever we want.
Take the ship implies killing people.
It's going to be aggressive. Having been in some naval combat situations, it's not what we want to be doing.
Can imprison them.
Then when we get to the other side, they tell the guards and imprison us. I think we need to try and keep this as simple as possible. We just need to get on that ship and figure out where it's going.
I'm not just going to kill guards for almost no reason.
Believe it or not, I do concur with you, Mr. Kincaid.
I'm sure there's ways and means that we can make some sort of distraction in Traistan to allow us to take the ship.
Yes.
We'll figure it out. Like we always do.
Seems all roads lead to the ship anyway. We should probably head back to Traistan and figure out what we can learn about the destination of this maiden voyage.
Yes.
We might be able to see whether it's even crewed at the moment.
Very
Yeah.
good point.
Okay.
How do we send word to you for what we need once we figured it out? I can see the sending stones around the tree are numerous.
Yeah, he nods. Two of them hanging side by side, and takes one of them, hands it to you. Are you aware of how they work, Mr. Kell?
Yes.
Very good. When you have made a plan, please inform Mr. Torgard. He will remain by your side to an extent until you leave these shining shores. As it Again, how you go about it is down to you. I will try and afford you assistance via crew. I will also ensure that Mr. Torgard retrieves the invitations to the gala itself for your use. How you get into the auction, again, I will leave up to you, but preferably without too much bloodshed. Wandering eyes being brought upon operations, not so good for business, and less good for yourselves. If you're arrested, how will you receive your gold?
Salient point.
Well, good luck in your task. I hope to receive good news in a few days' time.
Marvellous.
Yeah, very well.
And he begins to head out of the church, leaving you in the solace or in front of the altar and the tree.
What time of day is it now?
Well, you woke up, got in this stagecoach, travelled a few hours. You would guess about 12 o'clock.
Okay. So we've only got 24 and a bit hours until the ship leaves.
Ship's leaving at 10 o'clock tomorrow morning. You do remember that.
Morning?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
So, if we find the ship, and we can get the crew off maybe in the night where it's only got a skeleton crew on.
It is
No.
currently docked.
Okay.
So we need to cast it off.
Yeah.
Okay.
Move his crew on, and then just set sail in the night.
Yes, very straightforward. It'll be fine.
So that means we do it
Great plan.
today.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think we need to get moving. Let's get back on the spooky coach and head into town.
To be clear, I'm not killing any of these people.
I don't think we need to. I have an
We'd
idea.
never ask you to.
But I'd rather discuss that idea, not within earshot of old Tree Man.
What sort of resistance are we looking at when we get to meet your fine family? Are they as heavily armed as you, or are you?
Not nearly as heavily armed as me, but they likely would have paid for a small contingent of very angry, very thuggish-looking monsters of men that are probably quite capable of beating us into a pulp should it all go a bit wrong. So we want to avoid kicking off as much as we can. Mercenaries, that kind of like. Ironically, people like me.
Are your family much like you?
They've certainly had a different. Our paths have diverged quite considerably.
I dread to think.
If you think I'm bad, well, you should meet my father.
Well.
Let's get on the spooky coach. We're running out of time.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
You leave the church. The friend has gone back to tending to his vines. He doesn't pay attention to you as you leave. Sven is standing at the stagecoach. You have come to an understanding then, and I have been told that I am to assist you in procuring crew. Is that correct?
Yes, please.
Leave that with me. When do you need them to be ready by?
Nightfall, ideally.
Sorry for the short notice.
It's quite all right. I'm used to working under pressure. Please, let's head back to Traistan then. It sounds like you don't have a moment to lose. You head back into the stagecoach. Bonk closes. The windows swirl with darkness.
Can people hear out of the coach?
You don't know.
Oh, is there any way we can check?
You don't know.
Oh, no! Okay, I'm gonna. Is Sven like glued to us now?
He's up the top with the driver.
Yeah.
There's only space for the four of you.
Is there
inside
going to
the
be an
stage.
opportunity when Sven isn't around? And I can talk to my compatriots.
Well, he'll probably let you do a recce.
But as in, if we want
But
to.
he's not going to hang out with you all day. He's got.
Okay, cool. Yeah, he's going to leave
He's
us.
got stuff to do.
Okay, cool.
That you've asked for a crew to steal a pirate ship, basically.
Okay, cool.
Be pirates.
But he will leave us at some point, so we
At
can
some
discuss
point
things
at some
openly
point he will,
Without.
yes.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, there's only so much he can do from a distance, so he will need to go off in person. Do you discuss anything in the coach?
Nothing.
Silence.
Or just babble about
As soon as anyone starts talking, you
Never
we
ship
can-
before.
you get back to Traistan. Yeah, it is about 2 o'clock at this point. Sven, where precisely would you want the crew to meet you? Dare I ask what your plan? I should probably know what some semblance of your plan is.
Well, if they could meet us by the dock
Yeah.
at night time.
How close is the sickle to the dock?
A 50-minute walk.
How close is the mayor's house to the dock?
The mayor's house is on the northern edge of the pier, effectively. The royal docks themselves are down to the south, so past where the main manor houses are. But it is the royal dock because the normal dock, which is where you first found your job postings, is towards the north.
And is there any kind of public library or anything where we could figure out where that church is?
I mean, potentially. there's a public library.
Okay. Gregor
Have
has a weird
time for
plan,
that?
but we need Sven to not be an earshot.
Wow. Yeah, wow.
What have I done? Okay, you arrive back in Traistan. You arrive back at the Silver Sickle, Sven. I have work to do, as I'm sure you do as well. I will ensure that as many of the crew as can be mustered will be at close by to the royal docks. They will, of course, be under guard, because why would they not be? Especially due to a ship being blessed tomorrow morning, which may or may not be there in the morning, is my understanding. Wonderful. I will do what I can to ensure that many of them are ready to go. He bids you farewell and wanders off into the bustling streets of Traistan. What is your plan then, Gregor?
Okay. Yeah.
Hang on.
Oh, God.
We need a big distraction to get the guards and most of the mayor's men out of the city. I have 2 ideas. Either we find the location of that church and tell the mayor exactly where the friend is to get his men out of the city, looking for the friend, so we can pilot his ship out of here. You didn't seem too keen on the friend ending up with this magic cube, so I don't suppose you care whether or not we do get it back to him or not. We don't have to tell him exactly where he is, but if we can get enough of the mayor's men out of the city, we can take that crew and quite easily get it on that ship. I don't really want the guard being alerted as soon as everything goes wrong. As soon as that ship takes sail and it's not supposed to, they're going to be on us, like flies to a corpse.
But what if the mayor and the friend will be on the bad side of both of them and in a sticky situation?
Then what?
Perhaps
Well, why-
we should say to the mayor to send him off on a wild goose chase that we think he's in a location, but he is not.
Now we're on the same
We're in the
wavelength.
shrouded carriage of spooky
Spookiness.
darkness.
At least we can go there, collect our coin for our contract, and then steal a ship.
I'm pretty sure he won't pay us until he finds the friend now.
I mean, was that part of the contract, or was it just to report back where he
I
was?
believe it was just to tell him where it might be.
Well, you read the contract.
I most certainly did.
What was it?
Was that?
We could use some of the proceeds to pay off the crew on that ship. Therefore, not needing to kill anyone.
Yes.
So, do we try and get the guards out of the city?
I agree. I think it's a good idea.
Yes.
Is it a good idea?
You'll have to find out, won't you?
Okay.
Okay, so is there anything specific that you want to do during the daytime, or are you going to?
Scout out the ship.
I'm going to be looking at the ship.
Yeah.
Yes,
See how many guards there are.
lucky.
Are there less guards? There less crew when night time hits?
So the royal dock itself, it is fenced off, wrought iron fence around. You can see that there's a number of fine ships there. It's a port during the daytime. It's busy. There's dozens of people here, several dozen. Guards are patrolling the inside and the outside of the fence. There is one large wrought iron fence, gate which leads in, which is manned by 4 guardsmen.
Okay.
Bear in mind this is currently 3-4 o'clock in the afternoon.
Yep.
The ship itself, there are several, but you would presume that it is the one that is currently being rigged. There's people down, hanging off the side, checking rivets and paneling. You can see that there's 1 or 2 which are buffing up the crest on the front, which is a soaring dragon. The sails are being furled, unfurled. They're checking, they're doing all of the prerequisites ready for the next day. In terms of getting to it, you would need to go via the gate or over the gates. I mean, these are 12 feet high wrought iron gates, the sort of spikes and whatnot. You would need to head down the dock around, it's a large, almost U-shaped section where this large ship is docked. You can see emblazoned on the side of it, you can see someone finishing off the painting of the name, the Emerald Drake.
Could we, in theory, instead use several small rowboats to get to the ship? To bypass the docks,
You
as it were.
could, however, there are, again, guards posted. They're on patrol. Like you could go via the sea. You would be spotted. Well, I mean, in the daytime you'd be spotted. At nighttime you don't know.
I guess we could also make an explosive distraction.
Yeah,
We do have Fulmus,
we do.
and you have Bertha.
I do have further.
Well, realistically, how are we going to get everyone away from the ship? Realistically, we're going to need a big distraction.
If I can get on board that ship, I might be able to use some magic on him to literally scare them off. But if there's lots of them, it's very risky. I propose we wait until nightfall,
I can go with that.
find a rowboat, get me on that boat, and see if I can make them flee. You just have to trust that I can cast an imposing figure if I need to.
No, I'm sure you
Oh,
can.
I trust you.
It just depends how many people are below deck.
I wonder if we can create some kind of distraction now looking at the port itself and how many guards are here. Even if we did tell the mayor where to find a certain friend, I'm not sure it's going to empty the port entirely.
A fire would be a good distraction.
Fire would be a good distraction.
But we don't know what it's night. It's obviously in the middle of the day. These docks should die a death by the time it's nightfall.
You,
Better to be safe than sorry.
would presume
Everyone
that
should
no
start
one is
leaving.
working at night time on the ship.
Exactly.
Or at the very least, it would be a
the
skeletal
guards.
People are
keep.
guarding the gate bit for
Correct,
the ship.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The royal docks are where the and the a lot of the merchant ships are, not just down the end. It's like where all the fishing ships and like basic merchant. This is like this is where merchant ships from other large families come to. This is where the ships arrive for dignitaries, things like that. This is the guarded port. It's not like just a normal port.
So
or
there's other ships coming and going. They're not all grounded.
Correct, yeah.
Is there like a master of the port we could speak to?
You could search for him, yeah, if you wanted to.
I have an idea. If we approach with the element of surprise, if something goes wrong, we need an insurance policy. So, if we have one of the crew we're trying to accrue ready and waiting to set off a fiery distraction, only if we need it, that might be the way in, without making
But
a
how-
hoo-ha for no reason.
How would we signal if we needed it?
We'll make a signal to his gun or your cat, or I'll just shout. One of the we can figure that out. But if we attempt to get on there without being spotted, then if something goes terribly wrong, we then have an explosive distraction that we could use if we need it.
And what do you propose to use this explosive distraction on exactly?
What is it called?
Fullness.
Yes.
What do you want to use the fulness on?
I have
Well,
an
we'll put
idea.
it somewhere that's
Reasonably safe.
It's docked. It's full of
I
stuff.
don't hate the
It's
idea.
full of timber. I say.
We want to sneak on using a rowboat itself. You could have a second rowboat that we put off into the water and set on fire.
We don't need to use all the fullness.
Good indeed. My key
Don't
thing
want
is
to burn the docks down either.
we want
Put
to
it on one of the buildings over there.
get those guardsmen away from the gate. So we need them to be running in a different direction.
Yes.
Ideally towards, oh no, let's put out that fire.
Away from the dock.
Or just running off the boat and we have a crew on a small rowboat who then gets on. Their crew leaves the big boat and our crew goes on the big boat.
What if the guards
one
in
dies.
the front of the boat?
No one gets burnt alive in their room at night.
And what about the guards that would be looking out to the water?
The guards probably won't see if we're going in a rowboat.
This is true. I would like
It's
to bring
going
it
to
true?
be pitch black out there.
It's a populated dock, I assume they have some form of light.
What, they have lights out on the ocean today?
Well, we could go with your plan. We just need to hope that there's not many people below deck.
Well, my plan doesn't involve burning an entire port down.
Neither did mine!
It was a distraction.
We're stabbing people in the back.
That wasn't my idea!
goodness.
I said to set a rowboat on fire
Slanderous
so it could act as a
accusation.
distraction and people would be looking over there at that giant point of light in the ocean rather than us on rowboats.
That's-
And it's away from the dock so it doesn't burn everything else down.
Okay, so
Am I able to
Will
check,
you listen
like,
to me?
the various flags and stuff of the other boats in the port, just in case there is just a boat going when we need to go?
You broke my pencil.
Make an investigation check.
No, to be fair, that's 16.
You recognise some of them, but most of them are more to the north
Okay.
area.
Can't
There's
stumble aboard.
none with the coat of arms of Exemplar's Landing, which
Yeah.
is the city that you're going to.
Well, there's no other ships available, so it looks like we might have to steal this one. I think we get you on your rowboat, get you on the boat, then we just need to figure out how to get these guards away from this gate. If we can get them away, we can get the crew on the big boats, and then we're set to sail.
Why don't we wait for Sven to return and we get the crew on this rowboat with us?
It could work.
Okay. Good idea, everyone. Dorian said. Dorian's being very sarcastic at this point.
How many crew are we expecting?
Yeah.
You don't know a specific number.
Like a guess based on the size of the ship.
Based on the size of the ship that you have seen, you would probably... So, who here has sailed a ship in character? Not in real life, because I have. Cool. You, looking at the size of that ship, you would say that you could get by with yourselves and a crew of 10 more. It would be way easier if you've got a crew of at least 20.
How long is the sail away? Like, how many days?
It's about 2 days.
About 2 days. Okay.
Yeah, it's not a long journey, but it is a long enough journey that it is not like, and it's across the ocean.
And the crew upon the ship, are they armed?
From here, I mean, at the moment you can see that they're guardsmen. You don't know if they're like the crew of the ship.
Oh no, yeah. So there's guardsmen on the ship.
Yeah, I mean, so the men that are working on the rigging, you know, the woman that's down on the side checking the planking here, you know, they look like dock workers. They're not like, they don't have eye patches and cutlasses hanging out, going, "Arr!" You know, singing sea shanties.
They're not like Navy.
They're dock
They're
workers.
dock workers.
Yeah.
Okay.
The naval guard that you can see there are armed. Some of them have muskets, some of them have crossbows, some of them have spears and shield. Yeah, they look not too dissimilar to the town guard in uniform.
Yeah.
They just have a blue sash on.
Nice. So feasibly, we could sneak onto the ship, wait for it to set sail tomorrow morning, and then take the ship. If we can just get us and the crew on the ship, it can go when it wants to go.
Then don't we have the same problem of what do we do with the existing crew?
Well, there's plenty of us and fewer of them. If you can scare them with your spooky mask, and I can wave my gun around, we don't need to kill anyone.
I don't want to scare them into the ocean, thereby killing them. We may as well just stab them at that point.
If we just let them, if we just say to
Have
them,
fresh
look, we're
daggers."
going to put the ship in a different direction, they might just let us. A little bit of persuasion.
I propose we go find a boat. We find Sven. We find out how many crew there are. We get on the boat. We then row that boat gently up the river. Get on board the big boat. Scare anyone on there off the boat, and then we sail away. No killing, no throwing people into the ocean, no setting the port on fire. Just a nice taking of a boat. That's all I want to do.
We can give it. We've got to sneak 20 people on board.
No, we just have to sneak me on board.
How are we going to sneak 20 people onto a ship?
We don't need to sneak. They'll come on when everyone else is running off.
How? Via another rowboat?
No, we'll just
Once
take
the
one or two boats. Yeah.
Once
sure.
the people leave the boat via the guards, we can scare those guards away as well. Once they're all off the boat, we can then simply go on the boat.
Through the gate.
Through the gate. In theory, if we scared them
With
all
the
away,
guards.
we scare the guards away as well, presumably.
I feel like
Whatever
there's going
plan.
to be a conflict on the dock because of the armed guards by the gate.
Yes.
We'll have to get
almost-
20
sail
people
immediately.
But do we have
Right.
to get 20 people on before we set sail?
20. We need to organise
We don't
the
even know if
boarding
we'll
of a
get
vessel
20
with 20 crew.
Your knowledge of the ship, you would need, if you had the full complement of 20 crew plus the 4 of you on, given the fact that you know that these 3 do not know how to sail. You have an understanding of how to sail. Assuming that these are all experienced naval crew that you are receiving, which you would presume yes, and are hoping yes, it would take you at least 10 minutes to get that ship ready to sail if it's not already ready to sail.
Okay,
Yeah.
that'll be tricky. But you've not relayed that yet.
No, not yet. We basically need a way of getting those guardsmen away from the boat, so we can prepare the boat, get the boat out of the dock.
A fiery
Which is
distraction.
where the distraction comes in. We have to do something to get them away. If you don't want us to kill them, we have to find a way to get them away.
Do
And
you
the way
want to
do
kill
that-
them?
I'm not suggesting anyone is killed. I'm just suggesting we start a large fire to draw
I'm
the guards
team
away.
distraction. But if you give me no other options, I will kill people.
Dorian seems quite shocked by this.
Well, if we can light a small fire, distract the guards by the gate, get them away, we can get our crew on pretty easily. If you've spooked all the others off the boat, we should be able to slip in and out unnoticed.
Yes, this is
We
quite a
just need the
complex
distraction.
operation.
As long as the guardsmen are trying to put out the fire, it buys us the time to get the boat out of the dock before they start shooting at us.
It just
'Cause
needs
they
to be
will
a
start
small
shooting at
fire.
us.
It doesn't have to burn the whole dock down. We can show self-restraint.
No, I can show self-restraint.
I'm not.
You? I'm not so sure.
I didn't say I would light the fire.
We shouldn't use the full mist, but we could light a small fire.
Yes, that's also an option. Yes.
The full mist might be too much. We can
And it would create a bang, which would draw attention.
set a fire, draw the port's guardsmen to set fire, and we can then commandeer this vessel. We get you on, you scare the crew off, and then whatever crew we are supplied, we get them on the boat. Whether or not we also then want to pocket from the fact we tell the mayor where the friend is, which might get even more guardsmen out of the city.
I do agree that is a wise idea.
Okay.
Why not both?
Okay.
The
Success.
conversation continues throughout the afternoon as you make plans on how to steal this ship. But we will find out if those plans come to fruition in the next episode. For that concludes this one. There's me being like, oh, no, I'll give you guys something fun to do. You can see the ship, and it's devolved into, we should blow up the dock. We should murder the guards.
No,
we should
it's not.
Scare the guards.
It has to these
We're
clowns.
just gonna set a fire. We're blowing everything out of proportion.
I don't know what I was
You said you would kill people.
Because I was getting frustrated.
Ah, yes. The well-known response to frustration, just murder.
What?
Thank you very much for joining us. We will see you in the next session, and maybe, just maybe, a ship will be stolen.